Today is Thursday, October 7th, and welcome to the 8:30 show. I'm KJ, and every Thursday night you'll find me here at 8:30 p.m. on YouTube at Metro Conservative Media. Please hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. At the same time, I'm also live on Facebook at the Metro Conservative Media page. Please like our page and join the conversation. Tonight will be the night to join by commenting on this video. I will respond to your comments throughout the show. So tonight I am bringing you all of the OMG moments from ESPN's Sage Steele's interview. Okay, so this has been all over the news all this week. In case you've been living under a rock, Sage Steele is a mixed race female. Basically, I'm telling you this because this is kind of part of the story, but her mother is Irish and Italian descent, and her father is African American. She is a television anchor who is the co-host of the 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Sports Center on ESPN. She also hosts Sports Center on the road from various sporting events such as the Super Bowl and the Masters. She formerly hosted NBA Countdown on ESPN and ABC for 4 seasons, basically ending in 2017. So for 5 years prior to the NBA assignment, she was a full-time host of Sports Center, ESPN's flagship show, and she had previously contributed to ESPN First Take, Mike and Mike, and in the morning, and Sports Nation. Steele hosted Sports Center's daytime coverage of the NBA Finals in 2012, 13, and has covered every NBA Finals from 2012 to 2020. So Sage Steele is a big deal in the sports arena. Okay, she's recently faced backlash after she appeared on Jay Cutler's podcast, Uncut with Jay Cutler, where she made what has been deemed by the media gods controversial comments. I'm not going to just provide you the quotes tonight to paint a narrative, as many in mainstream media have done. I'm going to let you look at the actual footage of what has been deemed controversial from her interview, and we're going to just discuss it. So, bring you up to today. She has been suspended for this interview, or at least some of the clips that I'm going to show you, some of the comments she's made. She has been suspended from ESPN over it. So, this is kind of crazy. Again, as I mentioned, she is also being reported that she will not participate in ESPN's ESPNW Summit, which is geared towards women in sports. We all know Jemele Hill, loudmouth woman, who is also a sports anchor. She is Sage Steele's former co-worker, and she spoke about Sage's recent comments. She says, and again, I'm going to go into detail, but one of the things Jemele Hill said is, so on top of thinking former President Obama shouldn't identify as Black because he didn't have a relationship with his Black father, Sage Steele also thinks female journalists who dress a certain way know what you're doing when you're putting that outfit on. And then she says clown behavior. So we're going to get right into it. Instead of me telling you what she said, I want to show you small snippets of exactly what she said in this interview. And then I want your guys' thoughts on this. Is this actually controversial? Should this have been something that she would have been suspended from or fired? She may even still be fired if enough a backlash is brought out, enough media scrutiny is brought out about this. She may even be fired. So tonight, I want to go through some of these clips and get your opinion on it. So I'm going to start with this clip. This is basically this is early on in the interview. She talks about women in media, in celebrity culture, sleeping their way to the top. So this thing is full of all types of pretty outrageous statements. But I want your take on this. So take a look.
Listen, there were some guys and some players in particular who made it difficult.
Sure.
And if I think back on some of the things they said, but I didn't know any different. And what are you going to do? Like, I had no one to tell. And I actually didn't care, Jay.
Yeah.
Like, and women now would probably have a problem with me not caring
Yeah. Oh.
because I'm not, I mean, I get it with Me Too and all that. But at the end of the day, like, it was new.
Yeah.
And I don't think people were malicious. They were just being stupid guys in the locker room. So I would laugh it off, and then I would ask the question anyway.
Yeah.
I did have an opportunity to break a story once, and there was a fullback named Roosevelt Potts, and he was just, God, Rosie. He just,
I remember that
he
name.
just, you do? Oh, I
Yeah.
shouldn't have said it. He was, like, I had the story, and he was like, actually, see, okay, scratch the name. Anyway, there were players who were like, yeah, I'll give you that information, but what are you doing tonight? Like, if you come to dinner with me, then I'll give you this. And oh, by the way, at 20, however old I was, 24, 25, no one had to tell me that probably wasn't appropriate for me to do that.
Yeah.
Like, then you're done. Once you're that girl in a locker room situation with coaches and players, like, you're done. And your credibility is gone, even if you are good at your job and serious. So I had to find ways to nicely, like, blow it off, but then still ask the question. And eventually people stopped bothering me.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you remember in the beginning of the broadcast, I mentioned this is something Jemele Hill said. She got her on this or said that this was controversial or inappropriate for how she talked about women in business, in this culture of Hollywood. This whole Me Too movement, as you guys know, started off from this. And basically guys are approaching them about this, women, saying, if you do this for me, then if you sleep with me or if you come up to my room, then I can do this for you. And so she said no. She told them no. And so this is kind of what I always kind of wondered, because as a woman, in business, I have been in similar situations where men would have approached me as, in my 20s, or maybe even now, when men approach me about this type of stuff, they proposition you, they flirt. I'm not saying that is okay, but it happens. And I say no. I say no. Not interested. No, back in the day when people used to do it. No. And I had friends, I had coworkers who would say yes. And I'd say no. I remember I was in a situation where I was working with, I'm not going to say where, but I was working, and it was a bunch of us females. We were working, and it was a male dominated industry, and but professional, of course. And guys used to come in all the time asking us, to go out. These were our clients asking us to go out, and so I'd say no. Now, some people that I worked with, some women would say yes, and they go and they would get more clients, or they would get more business. And we know who these women are, and they did it. They used their beauty or whatever, and they would do it. I said no, and this is what she's talking about. Say no. We just got in the headlines. I'm not sure if you guys have been following it. Model Emily Ratajkowski, now 30, she accused Robin Thicke, who is now 44, of groping her bare breasts while they were shooting the video of his controversial hit Blurred Lines. Remember that? Yeah, the blurred lines. I know you want it. Remember that? So it was a huge hit. Well, now she's coming out with a book, this model who was in the video. And basically, she has a book coming out, and she's claiming that he was drunk on set and he cuffed her bare breasts from behind. So she's coming out with this book, and this is one of the things that she's talked about in the book. Now, this was many years ago. She never said anything publicly about it, but now she is accusing him of sexual assault. Is that wrong if he did do that? Of course. but she stayed in the video. The video came out, and so she also revealed, it says here, the new mom revealed that she previously stayed silent about the alleged assault out of fear that complaining about the singer at the time would damage her career in her dreams of becoming famous. Is that okay? This is what a lot of people do. They do this. Okay? I know people that have done this. They know that these guys do come on to them, which is wrong, but they say nothing. They say nothing about it, and they go along with it. They get the business, they get the promotion, or whatever the situation is, and nothing's said until it becomes convenient. Until it becomes convenient. So now this model, okay, has a book coming out, and she's dropping this bombshell. Oh, he cut my breast. Okay, that's wrong. But why didn't you say something back then? Because you wanted to be famous. That's wrong. What do you guys think about that? That is wrong. In my opinion, that is wrong. And that is what Sage Steele is talking about. She goes on to talk a little bit about it in this next. Take a look.
Here's the thing, there is a fine line, and I handled it. Like, I didn't get anybody's, because that's not my person. It wasn't my personality then. I might now a little more. But I do think as women, we need to be responsible as well. It isn't just on players and athletes and coaches to act a certain way. I mean, I've had talks with young women who would come in and they'd intern with me, with our channel, or just other women who reach out to me now. And I've said to a couple of them, they're like, well, would you look at my tape? Would you do this? And I've said, listen, I would love to, but the way that you present yourself is not something I want to be associated with.
Yeah.
So when you dress like that,
yeah.
I'm not saying you deserve the gross comments, but you know what you're doing when you're putting that outfit on too.
Yeah.
Like, women are smart. So don't play coy and put it all on the guys and again, I'm not saying anybody deserves anything.
Yes.
But we need to be responsible as women too, because we know what we're doing when we put certain things on and then return a certain text. Or you expect somebody's not going to see you if you go to dinner with this guy? Like, that's on us.
That's so true. And as a society with social media and everything, like, we promote it and we make it seem like it is okay. And there are certain situations where it's definitely not acceptable or professional, but like, it is tough. I mean, I couldn't say that it goes both ways, but I mean, you as a woman, you can definitely say it. So I'll let you say it, and I'll just politely agree.
And I will say it again, but I mean it. And again, I have two teenage daughters. Like, I struggle, and one is a freshman in college, and one's a sophomore in high school, and then I have a senior in high school son, and he's in the middle of these two girls, and he's like, Mom, what is she wearing? I'm like, I know. So we're late for school the other day because I'm like, go upstairs, take it off. It's not happening. Now, who knows what she does when she gets it? Probably puts it in her bag and changes in the bathroom. Like, I don't know. But I think it starts at a young age, and we have to be accountable too. And so we want everybody else to be. You got to look in the mirror first. And it isn't a popular thing for a woman to say, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
Okay. Where is the lie? Where is the lie? That right there is spot on for me. Spot on. She is just talking about holding everyone accountable, men and women, in a situation. We are in a society today where everyone is pushing this, oh, I can wear what I want to wear. I can walk out here barely, practically naked, and nobody better say anything about me. And if something happens, then it's nothing, it's not my fault. No, that is not right. And she talked about the children. So now we have this situation or this climate on the left. Honestly, this is being pushed in Hollywood, these leftist circles where, girls are, one hand they're telling them you can do anything and you can be anything. Okay. But then you're not holding them responsible and accountable for their actions. Wear respectful clothing. This is not hard. Everyone should be responsible for their part in this. No, it is inexcusable for a man to assault you or to put his hands on you when you tell them no. If they continue and you say stop, it is wrong. I totally agree with that. And I didn't think Sage Steele was saying anything differently. But she's saying it's right now the conversation is very one-sided. Men are getting all the blame for this, and women are not being held responsible. And this isn't right. She mentioned, women, you know what you're doing. Yes, you do. We all, come on now. I'm going to be real with you guys. We all have friends that are sluts. Okay? These women that we know, they go out, their whole mission is to see how many men they can sleep with, and they do not mind using this to get ahead in business. Let's call it what it is. This is what they do. We know this. I know people like this. Now you have some who know what the deal is. They do what they do. And when stuff happens, they say, okay, you know what? This is what I did. I know what I did. I know what I was trying to do. I'm trying to play a game. And that's it. Then you have the others who do these things. And then if something happens, it's, oh, I can't believe it. I don't know why this is happening. Well, you went out here half naked. He texted you and said, hey, you want to come over midnight to my hotel room for business? And you reply back, sure. What do you think is going to happen at midnight in somebody's hotel room? Come on now. This is just common sense, but we're just throwing common sense out the window. And then she breaks it down to her children. It starts at a young age. And she's talking about her daughter who goes out and sometimes is wearing, clothing that is not it's not right. It's not age appropriate. And she tells her to go back up and change. That's what we need to do. And it starts at a young age, because if you start at the young age, then when they get older, they realize this is my responsibility. Now, I know there's times where, you can be cold from head to toe and people will still, there's still instances where you'll be abused or you'll have some type of assault. And I understand that. But right now, the conversation is very one-sided, and they're not putting responsibility on these women. And the responsibility needs to be there. So, as you can see, Sage Steele has said some things that people have deemed controversial. I want to know what your thoughts are. Are these comments controversial, or are they common sense? Definitely post in the chat, in the comments. Please, again, share this video on YouTube, Facebook. We're also on Twitter. And tell me what you think. I want to go to the next clip. This is, now she's starting to receive death threats. Take a look.
You're the Candace Owens of ESPN, is what.
Wait, what? Where did you read that?
I forget where I read it, but it made me laugh.
Wow. I respect the hell out of Candace Owens.
So do I.
And because whether you agree or not, she doesn't give a crap what you think. No. And she's going to say what's on her mind. And isn't that funny, though, that people have to make those comparisons? Yes. Because we happen to have a similar skin color. Yeah. And therefore you have to, that cracks me up. And so, my kind of roller coaster ride really began 4 years ago when I gave some opinions. Yeah. And opinions based on, I remember what it was. It was right after Trump was elected, and ESPN had posted something about, players protesting in the NFL, because it was the next week after he was elected. Mm-hmm. And people, kneeling or turning their backs or whatever. And I remember, and it was Mike Evans, who I am obsessed with as a player. Who doesn't, if you like football, you appreciate that game. Yeah. Been on my fantasy team as many years as I can get them. Oh. But I remember that ESPN, and I retweeted what ESPN said. Oh, it was they reposted what he had said about being disgusted about the election, and I just remember thinking, wait a minute, you didn't even vote.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't like it,
yeah,
that's fine. But if you haven't voted to try to change it, then I just don't want to hear what anyone says. Like, don't bitch about it if you don't try to do something about it, you know? Yeah. So I just didn't respect that, and I tweeted some stuff, and so that's where my downfall began in the eyes of many. And what I've learned since then, well, first of all, that's when I also started to receive threats, death threats to me, to my children, people saying they hope my daughters get raped, like next level stuff. Yeah. All because I have a different opinion than I guess I'm supposed to for my skin color and my gender.
Wow. So again, that is uncalled for, death threats. And that's what she's saying. You know, she makes these comments. And again, nothing that I've shown you tonight that I feel is controversial. Again, she's talking old school. The stuff she is saying is old school common sense stuff. This is stuff that grandparents told our parents, and it's just been lost. It's just been lost. And now when you speak up about it and you talk about it and you give these words of wisdom and words of advice, you're deemed as divisive. You're deemed as saying something that's offensive because you're telling women, a woman, Sage Steele is a woman telling other women to take responsibility for yourself if you're out and about and put some clothes on. Have some respect for yourself. That's controversial. And then now she's getting death threats. She's a mom, she's a wife, and now she gets death threats about people telling her they want to kill her children. This is the world we're living in now. And because she speaks out, she's a Black woman, and because she doesn't toe the line with these leftist people, you know, Black people are, you know, as Joe Biden said, Black people, you're not Black if you don't vote for him. You're not Black if you speak out and you tell other women to take responsibility for themselves and get clothed, you know, stay clothed. You're not Black if you have any type of conservative leaning thinking at all. You are not Black. And she's now getting death threats. And also because she's saying these things that are not said a lot in the Black community, she's being compared with Candace Owens. Because she's Black, Candace Owens is Black, and Candace Owens goes against what every other Black person or a lot of Black people say in the community. This is crazy. Nothing this woman has said is controversial. Nothing. It's actually needed. I want to go to this one. This is the next clip, is the one where she really got talked about, and you know why, right? Because she says something about the beloved Barack Obama. Take a look.
Yeah. Because if you are attacking me because I'm different, you are proving the hypocrisy. And actually, you don't want race relations better. You just want everybody to think like you. Yeah. And real quick story. When I was on, I used to do a couple fill-ins on The View. And I guess this was even before. This is when Obama was still president. And Barbara Walters, like, ripped me live TV and then afterwards too, because they were wondering, they're like, why is it so important to you to say that you're biracial? I'm like, because my mom's white, she's Irish Italian, and my dad's Black. And I'm like, why not? Like, I actually feel like I have the best of both worlds. Yeah. And I think it's a huge blessing, and why not? And she's like, well, what happens when you fill out your census? I'm like, well, I don't know when the last time I filled out my census was, but if they make you choose a race, she's like, what are you going to put? I go, well, both. She's like, well, you can't. She goes, well, what if Barack Obama chose Black and he's biracial? I'm like, well, congratulations to the president. That's his thing. I go, I think that's fascinating considering his Black dad was nowhere to be found, but his white mom and grandma raised him. But hey, you do you. I'm going to do me. And then they put up a picture behind me of my parents and my brothers and me. And I was like, listen, I'm pretty sure my white mom was there when I was born. Yeah. And like, I love her. My white family loves me as much as my Black family. And I got killed for that, Jay. And so I still feel strongly about being biracial because isn't that what we want with diversity?
Yeah.
Do you see this? We have a problem with the truth. So I have Evie Harris. Obama's black father did abandon him. Where is the lie in that? That's true. So let me break this down for you. So she is catching flack because she is, again, a fact. She is a biracial woman. Her father is black and her mother is white. And you wouldn't really get technical. Her mother is Irish, I think Irish Italian, and the father is a black man, African American. So she I don't want to say identifies because I hate that word. She calls herself biracial. She is biracial. What is the problem? What is the problem there? Evie Harris, isn't she just speaking her truth? Oh, she's not being silent or silenced. Right. If she wants to be called biracial, let her be called biracial. And this is where I don't understand, because now we can go and we have people that are calling, you have a biological woman who wants to be called a man. Now they want to be called animal, spider. You look it up, and that's okay. But be this woman where it's not a stretch because she is actually biracial. She wants to be called that. She's getting flack for that. It makes no sense. This is how, and the Bible talks about it. When right will be wrong and wrong will be right. This, I don't know how much more clear you can get. The woman is biracial and she wants to be called biracial and people making a big deal about it. I don't understand it. Now, one issue I did take with her on this part, and you guys let me know what you think, is when she said, again, yes, like, share, and comment, subscribe to Metro Conservative Media on YouTube and Facebook. But one issue I did have with her is when she said about Barack Obama. So, Barack Obama says he wants to be called black. And she made a comment. She didn't understand that because his black father abandoned him. Okay. So let's say that's true. That doesn't negate the fact that, he has a black father. And just because his black father abandoned him, maybe he had some type of ties with the father's family. He's still black. So Barack Obama wants to be called black. Fine. She wants to be called biracial. Fine. Honestly, they need to stop with all this and just forget the race. And when in hiring and college admissions, you shouldn't even have to put that there. I could see you putting gender, because gender does have some basis on how you will act. Women have a certain way they'll act. Men have a certain way they'll act. They're divided by sports and things like that. But race, really, it makes no difference, the color of your skin and how you are going to perform on a job. How are you going to perform in school? It makes no difference. It really shouldn't even be asked. It really shouldn't. But again, she's getting flack for this comment that she made. I mean, a lot of flack. This was one of the ones that made the headlines. And I honestly don't see it. I do see where some people can take issue with what she said about Barack Obama, and she doesn't understand why he's saying he's black because he was abandoned by his black father. Okay. I mean, it's none of your business, honestly. But yeah, it's really not that big of a deal. But I want to move on to the next clip where, again, she talks about some of the hate that she's received. And then she talks about diversity, but diversity of thought. Take a look.
Like you cannot come out. Look at what happened in California with Larry Elder and mm-hmm. how he is a black Republican. God forbid.
Yeah.
In California. What's that?
In California.
Yeah. It's hysterical almost, but I think that's actually strengthened me mm-hmm. to continue to see it, continue to be attacked. And that's funny. My mother would, look on Instagram and see the comments and she'd be like, Sage, please delete them. Please delete them. And I'm like, Mom, I get, as a mother, I get it. I go, I can't delete that because if I delete it, that makes it look like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I want people to know, like, not that it's this awesome thing, but this is what can happen if you're in a bit of a spotlight, a public figure, and think differently. But I will go ahead, bring it. Like, tell me that I'm wrong for saying that diversity of thought is more important to me than any kind of diversity.
And I think that there's more people out there that are in that world that are quiet right now. I mean, I think some of the loudest voices are on both of these edges, and I think that I hope that there's going to be a change going forward of this middle group of people with common sense, of people with a little bit different thought process to move forward and get some strength and some courage and be able to voice what they say.
Too.
Yeah,
but I don't, and I'm a glass half full person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I trust that there's going to be that change because of the cancel culture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I will say that every time I've kind of stood up or just maybe, just pushed, I get so much. It's quiet. Yeah. Nobody can say it publicly. I mean, I've had some of the biggest names in sports, in particular in the NBA, who reached out to me privately saying, "Hey girl, stay strong. Don't let them push you. I got you. Let me know if you ever need anything." I was like, you know what I really would love is one time for you to have the courage to like retweet me and just retweet the hate and say, guys, this isn't the way.
Yeah. And I've talked about this before on the 8:30 show here every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. And then I've also talked about this on Pop and Politics, our other show that we have with my co-host on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. It's time for people to start speaking up. It is time. It is time for people to start speaking up. If you don't want to do it because we are at a crossroads right now, we are on the edge of a cliff with this stuff. You see what's going on with this woman. She has done nothing but really tell the truth, not her truth. She has just told common sense truth. She has spoken facts, and she may lose her job. And you have people. The same thing happens with me as a Black conservative. I get people emailing me, messaging me, texting me, "Hey girl, I'm right there with you. I agree with you," but they never say anything publicly. So so then we get this impression that most people agree with these crazy people on the left, on the far left, or they agree that you can go out here and women can go out here and bear no responsibility if they if they're using their sexuality to get ahead, and then cry wolf or cry abuse when something happens. Nobody says anything about this, and so now it's perpetuated, and you have these cancel culture, and you have all these things happening. Speak up! Don't message me! Don't text me! It doesn't matter. I appreciate you saying you agree and you support me and you watch every week. Okay, I agree, but that doesn't help the movement. You know why I do this? I do this for my child, because I see that we are moving in a world here. This world is moving in a very bad place. And from where I sit right now, it doesn't look too positive for our children. It doesn't, especially men, young boys. And I have a son, and he will be a man in the future, of course. And the world is really pressing against these men. Okay? They're pressing against people who are faith-based. They're pressing against people who speak the truth and are factual. I'm not talking about being disrespectful. I'm just talking about speaking facts. If she wants to be biracial, if she's biracial and she wants to call herself biracial, let her do it. We can't even speak up about anything anymore. It's ridiculous. And this is what our children are going to be, have to deal with. Evie Harris, y'all stop texting KJ, LOL. Let her get her work done. You need to get busy. Yes, this is urgent. This is urgent. You know, I laugh and I play about this stuff, but we're living in scary times, and I'm going to show you in a moment what I mean by that. Because she really gets flack for what she says at the end of this video. So I want to move on. I want to play this next clip.
What's the Band-Aid for?
Well, I got my shot today. So the fact that I get to be on Jay Cutler's Uncut podcast today, like this is such a momentous day in my life. Where you don't even know what's in here because I'm so mad. Listen,
September 13th. I mean, you took it a long way.
I did. I didn't want to do it, but I work for a company that mandates it, and I had until September 30th to get it done, or I'm out.
Were you having to get COVID shots like weekly or daily?
A test?
Yeah. If you weren't vaccinated.
I got them all. What's that?
If you weren't vaccinated, did you have to get a COVID test weekly or? No, you're good.
No, because there's so few people on campus right now. We usually have about 5,000 people on ESPN's main campus in Bristol. And I don't know what the number is. It's crept up, but there's not many. And you have 6 feet distance and you have your masks. I think I respect everyone's decision. I really do. Yeah. But to mandate it is sick. And it's scary to me in many ways. But I have a job that I love, and frankly, a job that I need. But again, I love it. I just, I'm not surprised it got to this point, especially with Disney. I mean, a global company like that. But I just, it was actually emotional. And it's funny, everybody else has their, yay, look, and here's my card, and let's, I'm like, you know what? You want to see what my face looked like when I had to do it? So I get it to an extent, but I think the mandate is what I really have an issue with. And I don't know what comes next. But I do know for me personally, I feel like defeated.
Yeah. It was emotional for her. Now, she has gotten a lot of flack for that comment. That portion of the video, of the interview that she did, has been in headlines everywhere. And probably is the main reason between that and what she said about Barack Obama, she may lose her job. Now, let's unpack that. First of all, she got the shot. Why did she get it? Because she needs her job. She said that. She did not say anything negative about the vaccine. She did not say anything negative about even, and I encourage you to go watch the full interview. But she goes on to talk about masks, and she's very positive about masks. She has no problem with masking. She has no problem with the vaccine. She has a problem with being forced to get it in compliance with actually keeping her job. And she gets in trouble for this. She says she respects everyone's decision, but the mandates are scary, and it is. You're forced to do something that you don't want to do. And the science doesn't back it up. The numbers don't back it up. I'm not even going to get into the legitimacy and things regarding, if we shouldn't get the vaccine, because again, as she's mentioned, it is a personal decision. But why is she getting flack, and why is she getting her hand slapped for vocalizing she did not want to do it? That's all she did. She said she didn't agree with having to be forced to do it, and she did not want to do it. And now she may lose her job for saying she didn't want to do it. Mind you, the mandate and the vaccine and getting it has nothing to do with her actual job. So it's not like she said, I hate interviewing athletes, or that interview I did with so and so, I didn't like him. He was an idiot. She didn't say that. She said one of the stipulations of her job, or to keep her job, was to get this shot, and she didn't agree with it. What is wrong with that? There is something, and this goes back to what I was saying before. There is something wrong with you when you are told you cannot even talk about your disagreements with being forced to get this vaccine. Especially when you say you have no problem with the vaccine, but the actual, because you're being forced to do it is where you take issue. And it was emotional for her, which it is. It's an emotional thing. Especially if you have religious exemptions, which they aren't, taking into consideration, and you have to get this vaccine. Especially when they came out today and talked about how people, they have one of the vaccines has aborted fetus cells in it, and people take issue with that. But she did it because she needed her job. And instead of people feeling empathy and sympathizing with her, she may lose it anyway because she vocalized her disagreement with it. And then you have people who see this, disagree with it, and don't say a thing about it. So as you heard what she said, what's next? What's next? What are your children going to be forced to do by the state, by the government? What are your children going to do? What are your children going to be forced to do in order to keep their job, or in order to buy groceries or go to a public place? We have E.B. Harris. You must like, think, and express total satisfaction with everything the left says or does. It doesn't matter that your actions demonstrate more. Even if you don't like or agree with something, that you're nice, calm, reasonable, agreeable, and even willing to negotiate does not matter. Yeah. We're becoming robots. That's what it is. It's almost like Stepford Wives, but for everyone. This is crazy. And this is what I'm talking about. This is why I have a sense of urgency, and I get annoyed when people who stay shut or who don't mention anything of their disagreement with this stuff don't say a word publicly, but girl, I agree with you. I can't say anything, but I'm right there with you. You are doing this to the detriment of your children, to my children, because this is serious. So, as I mentioned, she mentions on here, she wasn't happy after she got the shot. Look at me, here's my card, all this type of stuff. It's all just acting. It's just, people just make me sick. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But I mean, it is. It is. Again, I have no problem with people getting the vaccine. I actually encourage it for a certain part of the population. I do. But it is my right if I disagree with it. People have a right to disagree. People have a right not to take it. People have a right to get information, all the information that's available on it. That's it. And that's all she was saying. So I encourage you guys to watch the full video. It's about an hour. I pulled out most of the OMG moments of the video, and the things that have been making headlines, and people are, grasping their pearls about. And when I say people, mostly the leftist media, the leftist woke crowd are clutching their pearls about these comments, and I haven't seen anything on here. I haven't seen much of anything that's very divisive, or like I said, the only thing I took issue was with her talking about former President Barack Obama, saying, why does he say he's black if his dad abandoned him? I mean, that's his business. But other than that, I saw nothing wrong with what she said. I saw nothing wrong. So, what do you think about her comments? And then also, let's see here. What do you think about her apologizing for her comments? Yes. Now, actually, I want to go back to that because I have her quote. She says, "I know my recent comments created controversy for the company, and I apologize. We are in the midst of an extremely challenging time that impacts all of us, and it's more critical than ever that we communicate constructively and thoughtfully." So, again, this is this woman who is probably emotional. She just wants to keep her job. And again, this is just she can't say what she feels. Again, everything she said was respectful. I didn't see anything that she said that was controversial. But she's being forced to make this apology to keep her job. Why do we have to do that? That is despicable. I mean, we're in America. You are supposed to be able to speak freely. She was sharing her personal story. It was actually inspiring, especially the part she said about women and just being responsible for your image and what you put out there, and just being responsible about how you interact with people, with men in this male dominated industry such as sports. And she's being chastised for it, and it's really sad. Notice that she said, "I know my recent comments created controversy." And I looked at that part of the statement. So she said, she didn't say her comments were controversial. She said her comments created controversy, which they did. On the woke left crowd, they did. The media, the leftist media. So that's something to think about. I don't know if she did that on purpose. She's basically saying, I don't think I said anything controversial, but you guys thought they were it was controversial. So for that, I apologize. So I don't know what's going to happen going forward with this. Last I read, she was suspended. Now there's some mix up about it because they said she had COVID. She tested positive for COVID. And so that's why she has been suspended. I don't know if it's suspended. That's what they're saying. So I don't know if this suspension is due to the comments or if it is in fact because she tested positive for COVID-19. But we will see. Time will tell. I think she has a week suspension. So we will see what happens going forward. I think it's a real loss if she is let go. Again, it's nice to see a female, African American, or a woman of color in this male-dominated world of sports. To be honest, I don't watch sports much. I actually didn't even know much about her before this whole controversy broke out. But it's nice to see different people talking about sports and things like that. Oh, yes, she did. She conveniently tested positive, just like Brandon Scott. But they're both vaccinated. And that's another thing I don't understand. You have the media make such a big deal about this, people testing positive and they are vaccinated. So really, they may not even have any symptoms at all. And if they do, it would just be something like a cold. So again, we're making big deals about stuff that wasn't a big deal before the pandemic came out. So it's just weird. It's just very weird. Evie Harris, no one gets suspended for testing positive for Wuhan. If you know the left, she will remain suspended and probably terminated. Yeah, she will. She may. And that's very sad because again, I encourage you all to watch the full interview And again, I took out some of the controversial clips, but what she said it really wasn't controversial at all. But again, anytime you talk about accountability, anytime you talk about women taking accountability, anytime you talk about race and you're not saying you are a victim because of your race, people say it's controversial. So I don't know. We are getting to the end of the show. Thank you guys for joining me and commenting. Of course, continue the conversation once we finish. And I will comment back and forth throughout the next couple of days. Please share this video. Again, I mean, if you guys agree with Sage Steele, or you feel like she's being wrongly suspended, and hopefully she won't get let go, we need to share stuff like this and show support for her. Because again, as she mentioned, I'm sure she has a lot of support out there, but no one wants to talk about it. So if we don't talk about it, then it appears like she doesn't have support, and then they will remove her. So share this video, comment. Again, subscribe to our YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. We are all here. We're all over social media. So again, like, share, leave a comment, and follow us. Also, check out the webpage, www.metroconservativemedia.com. We love to get your feedback. Whether you agree or disagree, comment. This is you speak your mind and zone. I want to hear it all. I'm a big girl. I can handle it. So please comment. Again, I hope to connect with you next Thursday at the same time. Wishing you warm days and starry nights. Good night.